and we press play on this. Okay. And off we go. Well, okay, there's a little bit of setup here, just getting... I was trying to sync up the PB video. I am currently... my webcam is currently taking over the PB location, the previous PB video, but I don't really have somewhere else to put my webcam, so I'm putting it here. We're not looking at the previous PB anyway, we're looking at this new one, which is world record. Yeah, I won't be able to, this is all pre-recorded, so I can't go through the different comparisons on live split and see what all of it like is set to. At the moment, I accidentally left it set to comparing against my goal time. I didn't realize that I wasn't comparing against PB right now. There is no game audio coming through, is there? Hold on. Alright, that should work now. There we go, right. You should have, there we go, we got audio coming through now. So yeah, also during the course of the week, I had been using Dreamy's new Lua script, which it shows you how good your mashing is. Essentially, you run the script and it will have it will do an extension of the emulator up to the side where it will provide stats on how many frames you drop from mashing and how good your how many perfect how many perfect text boxes you get. So yeah, I had been using that to just practice the intro section and see closely which text boxes are the hardest basically and which ones I need to practice. So I'd been doing that this week. So using that had really shown me where I have to focus hard on to get good text boxes, and some places where the text boxes are actually incredibly easy. I don't need to worry about them. I think my mic's a little bit loud. Right, how's that? Like that? About here. Okay, I think I'm gonna leave my microphone there. I think that's better. I think it was a little bit louder before. Yeah, not really too much to say about intro. I don't think I made any major mistakes here. I think it was just a little bit slow. I don't think I missed any rolls. I think I was just a little bit slow on a couple of the rolls. And the intro cutscene. Really, there's just not much to talk about this. We're just going to chill out through this section, just watch it go. Oh, my okay. I thought there was literally no one in chat because my chat box isn't displaying on stream, and also the other program I'm using for chat isn't. And I'm like, really? Is there no one watching? And I just went on Twitch and I see everyone's here. Hi. I don't know why that's not. Oh, okay. I literally just had it not visible in OBS for some reason when I literally just added it like 10 minutes ago. It just set itself to. If someone else writes a message now, it will appear on stream. But anyway, hi. How much time save did I get from text box mashing improvement? I don't want to do any spoilers, but like, okay, so my best intro time here is a 540 flat. And I didn't really get any improvement in this run. I think it helps a little bit in consistency, but like overall top speed, I don't think it actually improved. Because I'd already had a very fast mashing technique. It's just this this tool lets us know when the like which text boxes are the ones that we need to look out for and make sure that we're mashing perfectly for. And there's quite a lot of text boxes which are actually incredibly easy to get framed perfectly, and you don't even need to be mashing that fast. It will just you will just get it. Yeah, it's pretty weird. But yeah, from the point that we take control after the king cutscene, all of this is pretty pretty important movement to get to Deepwood. You can lose a lot of time just on this section through Lon Lon. I was a little bit slow there. I think I got hit by the Acro Bandit in the wrong direction, and it kind of screwed up my movement, so I had to do a little bit of walking instead of rolling. Not the best, but got a good Octo position there, which so you can... That Octo there that's blocking that tiny little path, you want him to be in the right position so that you can just roll through him and not have to interact with him at all. Yeah, not too bad. So ideally, you want this cutscene to end and regain control before the 7-minute mark. That just tells you that you've got a decent enough intro pace. Yeah, actually incredibly solid Minish Woods movement there. There wasn't any flaws. Yo, Davo, thanks for the congrats. Yeah, good luck on Galactic Record. Yeah, I mean, everyone outside the world isn't really submitting their times, but... And that was a Eslo Gold. That's a 736. If I had a better intro and didn't... I think my festival was a little bit poor. That could have been a 735. Do I have the... I think I do have the spreadsheet here. Yeah, I've got the spreadsheet, so I know the exact times. That Eslo was actually, it was a 36.92, so it was only just a 36. You got to see something on the screen there for a second. Oh, we're currently racing? What? Okay, right. Nightbot, no. Bad bot. Right, disable that. Okay, cool. Okay. Like, the only important room in Minish Village is this one. We want to get perfect rolls here. And we do. Unfortunately, we didn't roll into the ladder, which is the only downside to that part. But we get onto the ladder quickly, which is all that's important. If you miss the ladder, because you're always expecting to hit that ladder with the right movement. If you don't hit it, it can screw you up a bit. Decent enough mashing out of there. Yep, and then I look here and I'm like 9:55 and we're just about entering this area. This is a fat one. So I'm like, oh my god, that was huge. And then I turn my mic on. Fucking smashed. Absolutely fucking smashed and out of the park. That's what we want to see. I skipped the 9:59. I got a 9:58. My first sub 10, there's a 9:58 to the day I fucking die. I skipped the 9:59 and I'll never see it ever again. Let's fucking go. Me and Mark Ruzzo, baby. Yeah. So I was, I kind of just stopped caring about this run at that point. I really stopped caring about the run. I just lost a huge amount of time there. In those couple of rooms, I lost about 10 seconds. It was really bad. I just was not paying attention. The run was dead to me. I was just popping off because first sub 10, and it wasn't even a 9:59. It was a 9:58, baby. Me and Mark Ruzzo. Yeah, so the rest of Deepwood was just a bit of a train wreck, honestly. I was, I think at Gustjar I considered resetting, and then again at the end of the dungeon, I was like, should I reset? And I'm like, no, I want to actually, like, finish this run with the 9:58. Or, like, there's enough stuff that's going to kill the run later on. I don't want to reset now. Because I don't want to just reset and go through intro over and over again. Fell in the water there. I thought I went far enough up to... And then I rolled down into the slug and then got pushed through, and I was just so confused. I just stopped there for like a half second, just considering life. Rolling down there too early. All of this is just an absolute train wreck. I think... yeah, and then I misrolled there into that door. Everything's just going wrong here. Misrolled there again. I'm just super tilted at this point. I'm like, how can I play Deepwood this bad? Are we getting an Enter Deepwood RTA category? I mean, Darky wins. He gets a 9:56. Which is like 2 seconds better than this run. I think Vlak also gets that as well. Or maybe it's like a 9:57 if you go by what my timing is. But by my timing, Darky has a 9:56. Yeah, I also just get damaged there by that puff stool. Yeah, Darky earlier today, their Earth element was a 1710. I also had a really bad Madapilla fight here, but yeah, just to demonstrate like how much on another level Darky is. Darky got a 1710 Earth element. Like, I think my best ever Earth element is a 1728 or 27. There's only like 3 or 4 people that have a sub 1720. Well, okay, there's Darky, Black, Toads, Fire. I don't know if Semi's got one. Aradna got one, though. Oh yeah, with the mushrooms, yeah, like it's really confusing as to like what constitutes what. Um, we, I'd always thought that it was the mushrooms inside of caves or internal places were blue, and then the ones outside are red. But um, I guess not. Anyway, yeah, that Gus Jar section was just appalling. 1354, I was like 10 seconds behind where I actually wanted to be. I wanted to go for a low 1340, but that Deepwood was just so bad. When running against these splits, I should be ahead. Well, I'm probably going to be behind at Enter Deepwood because that's an incredibly good Enter Deepwood. But I should always be ahead at Gus Jar. If I'm ever behind at Gus Jar, I'm just going to reset. I should never be getting slower than a 1350. I think all of this section was mostly fine. Wasn't paying too much attention. It's not something that I have to majorly consider. To be honest, like from this point on, for the next like 40 minutes, there's going to be like only the most minute of mistakes. It's nothing going to be as crazy as what that what the Gus Just split was. That's like exceptionally bad. Yeah, that was a perfectly good Enter Green Shoe. Yeah, it is really nice that we have consistent starting locations for enemies and rooms, because then you know where they're going to be. And then there's a little bit of randomness in how they decide to move, but it's mostly going to be stuff you can predict. But yeah, in the other Zelda games, it's just like, yeah, they can spawn anywhere. Now I want to see to. Yeah, so that first cycle on Green Shoe was 7 hits. How many is this one? Because I had a really bad Green Shoe fight here, and I'm wondering why. That wasn't bad. What was that? 7 both times? I got a 4 jump here instead of the should have got a 3 jump, but I just didn't do it fast enough. Or I didn't use the Gus Jar with the correct timing. Yeah, I don't know how I lost. How much time did I lose? Like 7 seconds on this split? I don't understand how that was possible. Yeah, 7.1. I don't. That wasn't bad RNG, and I don't know what extra stuff I did wrong. That's very confusing to me. But yeah. Yeah, it was both 7 hits. Which isn't the worst. Like, so the Chew can stay on the ground for either 5, 6, 7, or 9 hits. So 7 both times isn't bad. That's like 3 seconds lost, I think. Thanks for the good luck, Deoxys. I'll try and play my best here. But yeah, a 1740 is actually a really bad Earth element. I was really considering resetting, but I then rethought it and was like, I don't want to play for intro again, and I'm only 10 seconds behind. I can easily make up all of this time with just playing better throughout the rest of the game. And it's basically what happens. I just don't make any more mistakes throughout the rest of the run. Or in anything really, really major. I got hit by that Octo there. I've got better movement that I should be doing there instead, but I kind of just forgot at the time. That's the any % movement that we do. We do those 2 rolls to get hit by that Octo, and it pushes us down, and we can do the down rolls to go over to the Wind Crest. But in Glitchless, we don't activate that Wind Crest, so we just ignore him, actually. We want to, at the start of the room, roll up instead, and then roll off to the side. Yeah, thanks for the congrats. I can't remember how this split went. Oh, okay, this split actually didn't have any mistakes. Well, apart from the Octo, yeah, no. Oh, if I didn't get bonked by the Octo there, and I did the correct movement there, this would have golded by about a second. Yeah, I'm missing a slice of pizza and some Coke. Yeah, absolutely. Can you hear my PC whir up like that? Oh yeah, another thing in this category is roll lifting is considered a glitch, so we can't do it. So we have to do some other things instead to make sure the bombs explode as quickly as possible. So like as soon as we load into a room, we drop a bomb and mash R to pick it up and then throw it as quickly as possible. And then once we've thrown it, then we can pick it up and then use it however we wish. Yeah, 0.1 off of gold. That could have absolutely golded if I had a better movement in the first section. How can there be no world record if there's no heart rate monitor? Do I just like get a heart rate monitor thing and just like put it up, on my webcam, like up here or something? Yo Pat, how's it going? We're just vibing here. Yeah, more bomb shenanigans there. I always really get frustrated in any % trying to pull off the roll lift there, and if you don't get it, then this section can shrinking at the stump here can be pretty awful. But in Glitchless, we have to do that strat because we're not allowed to roll lift, and it makes that something you just don't even need to think about. How is my Moldozers here? Got hit down, so my rolls can be a little bit weaker there. So that was fine. Did I get hit again on the way down? I don't... Yeah, no, I didn't. Okay, so it was only 1 hit. It's actually really important to make sure you don't get any damage in this section, because all of this health that you lose here will continue up through the rest of Chrono and then into Cave of Flames. From this point on, you just don't want to be taking any damage. Got my visual cue set up for where I use the Gust Jar there. If I go a single pixel higher, I fall off. Is the audio all nice now? Because I did adjust my mic earlier to be a little bit lower. Oh, I did get hit by the dust there. Should really pay attention to that. Make sure you don't... Because you have to move into position and then tap down so that you can use the Gust Jar in the right direction. But if you hold down for too long, then you walk into the dust. Yeah, in a lot of that section, you're looking at the R button to wait for the text to change before you press it and then do your actions. Like, instead of rolling to get closer to the portal, you keep an eye on the R button. As soon as it changes, you can press R to grow. And the same thing with throwing the bean as well. do the mushroom strat to get up here. Did I? Yeah, I got really unlucky with the Tektite jump there. I thought he was going to jump down left, so then I decided to roll up, but then like he kind of adjusted and landed right where I rolled to. Yeah, P-Hat being mean there. I tried knocking the P-Hat into the bomb explosion, but yeah. Luckily he stayed going out of the way, so it wasn't too bad. Only lost about 2 seconds here. It was mostly at the end there. Yo, McLaggens, thanks for the congrats. Mushroom has to be the first skip that was ever found for this game. Probably. Maybe. Ocarina Glitch was discovered pretty early. Like, I think... I'm sure Ocarina Glitch was discovered, like, within a year of the game coming out. Yeah, people doing casual runs, so, yeah. I don't think I got hit by any boulders there, which is good. Tektite jumps in the right direction. P-Hat's being... he goes out of the way, so that's fine. And then, yeah, you got loads of time there to do that. Good enemy RNG there. You just don't want them to get to hit you as you're pulling the mushroom back. Bad rolls. But didn't get hit by the any of the raindrops, which is good. Yeah, in my other practice runs this week, I had golded both Grip Ring and Ender Cave of Flames and Cane. So they were good gold times to be competing against. So my time loss is accurate. But I'm still just playing better than my PB. Because you have to also remember that my PB at the time was a D-Rust run of coming back to the category after, like, my exams were over. I was just like, I'm just going to YOLO a D-Rust run just to see where I'm at Glitchless. And I PB'd by 10 seconds, and I was like, right. I didn't fancy going for the swag strat there, rolling through the rock beetles. I was just worried about picking them up or something. But anyway, I was just going for the safe strat, which is you just go slightly down and avoid them. Yep, that room's fine. Maybe a little bit slow on the bomb pickup. Missed a roll there as well. Didn't roll into the red rupee and just walked instead, losing a little bit of time. I think I had a really good pushing movement there. Like, I think I was getting around the size of the boulder and pushing it rather quickly. Got hit by a Moldoza there, but then, yeah, and then the last one was right in the way of where you wanted to roll down, which was unfortunate. Yeah, so not the best Moldoza room there, but it's fine. I'm actually doing super good on health here. So my... at this point, I look at my health, and if I'm on exactly 2 hearts or less, then I'll grab the hearts in the pots at the entrance. But if I'm on, like, if I'm on 2 1/4 or more, then I won't. I'm on 2 1/2 here, so I've decided that I'm not going to grab the hearts at the entrance. Yeah, half a second off gold there, and that was actually not the best movement there, so I think I can certainly optimize that gold more. Kind of bad RNG from those bob-ombs at the start of that room. Had to roll through them before rolling up. It's a little bit slower. Got nice spiky beetle positions that can deal with that nice and easily. Already got the green rupee text box from Beck and Deepwood. Yo, Fire, how's it going? Did I get a sub 10 enter Deepwood? Yeah, I got a 958 on this run. It was my first ever sub 10. And then it was like, I was popping off so much from getting it that I then immediately lost like 10 to 15 seconds in the entrance of Deepwood. And yeah, Deepwood was a bit of a train wreck. Yeah, I lost like 15 seconds in Deepwood overall, I think. And Green Chew was bad as well. I lost like 7 seconds just to RNG in Green Chew. So yeah, well over 20 seconds lost. That was a decent Helmasaur fight there. I wasn't really paying attention. I think it was a good one. Got really bad spiky beetle RNG there. It decided to just completely block me. And then I don't think there's too much to say about this section here. It's just riding the lava platforms and waiting for timers. Yeah, what do I have in money? Yeah, so Rollerby RNG was decent enough. What did I do here? I did that. Yeah. Yeah, I think that was fine. It wasn't the best Rollerby RNG, but I think I did the right movement there for what the Rollerby pattern you got out. Yeah, I'm really certain that when like running against this run, I should be ahead. Nearly all of the run. Like, well, I like being behind at Enter Deepwood will be fine, like because a 958's a tough ask to keep up with. But I can immediately save 10 seconds at the entrance of Deepwood, and then I should just ideally stay ahead for the rest of the run. So I guess it will be nice splits to be running against. Nice bats there. Nice Keys. RNG just staying out of the way. I think I've only received 1 hit of damage so far in Cave of Flames. Yeah, kind of goofed up the Chew fight a little bit there. I'm pretty sure that could have golded if I didn't mess up that Chew fight at the end. And go for the hearts. The heart RNG was ridiculous. I was just, I decided that, like, seeing those heart drops, I was like, I'm going to go for these to max out my health instead of going to grab the cane quickly. I mean, you don't really need to be too careful about your health here in Cave of Flames. You have a lot of downtime in the second half as you're waiting for platform cycles that you can grab extra health. So it's not bad at all. Floppy movement there, should have got onto that portal faster. But yeah, I saved like, what, 13 seconds on that split versus PB. I don't know if it's because PB sucked there or if this had like an exceptionally good early Cave of Flames. I mean, I didn't have to get the extra health at the beginning and then had a relatively good RNG from all of the fights, so I feel like it's definitely beatable, but it has to be good luck. Now, how did this Rollerbite room go? I guess that's fine. Oh, but yeah, I tried sword slashing that in. I thought it was going to go in like 2 sword slashes. I should have probably picked up and thrown it in instead. It would have been a little bit faster. Just misjudged that slightly. How much health have I taken already? Yeah, the like one Keista doesn't get killed by the minecart ride. Got heart RNG there. Didn't really need that one because there's another pot here that we're going to go through anyway. Do I actually? I didn't even realize I was on full health here, but I broke that pot that has the heart. Did I actually get the heart? I did. I went down to get the heart, but it doesn't really matter. Like my last 1 or 2 practice runs before this had messed up that platform cycle in the lava basement, so I was actually just like super happy that I didn't mess that up. You lose like 8 seconds or something from. Well, I think 1 cycle's 4, and depending at a point in the cycle, if you fall off, you may have to repeat. You have to wait 2 cycles to be able to get to ride the platforms again, which can end up in like 8 seconds lost. All of this section here is you don't have to be precise with your gliding at all because you're waiting for a lily pad cycle. You have to wait for the lava platforms to move after the big key anyway. So this is just a bit of a chill section where you just make your way over, but you don't have to focus on optimal movement or anything. Now we have so much downtime here that we can even like slash this and hit the warp for literally no reason other than it's cool. And also being on full. I mean, I tried to poke my head around the corner to fire a cane shot at it at the platform as it was approaching, but yeah, no, that section was just perfectly fine. I think I changed the comparisons around here just to see what the comparison is to the versus other splits. But yeah, so maybe I should explain what my splits mean. So in the PB column, that's what my previous personal best is. In the world record column, that's not Darky's run. That's an algorithm that I've made that takes my average runs. It averages out my time loss on all of the splits, and it splits up. You basically feed in a goal time, so I set my goal time as what the world record time is at 2:18:12 at the time. And then it averages out time loss evenly across all of the splits in comparison to what your gold in your sum of best is. And so it's basically like specifically designed for me. So if it knows that I typically have a lot of time loss in one split, like my average is way harder to hit than what my gold time is, I should have a lot of time save available in that split by doing it well. But on other splits where my average is basically nearly identical and within a second of what my gold is, it's not going to try and give me multiple seconds of time save on that split because it's just not there. So it's a really fair way of making it so that it's not going to sway around all over the place too wildly, and I'll know if like my runs are good or bad outside of what happens in the PB video or in the personal best. So yeah, even though I lost like a second to PB on the Glee Rock fight there, I ended up saving a second over my world record like balance splits there because that was a better than average Glee Rock fight, even though it wasn't the like a gold pace, or like it was, my PP actually was like incredibly close to a gold time on it. And yes, because the way I did it, you feed in a goal time. I can put in literally any time in there that I want. So I think I have a 218 flat in there at the moment, but I could easily like change that to be a 217.45 or a 217.30 or 217 flat or something like that. Literally any time you want, and then it will just evenly distribute out the splits to hit that time. Yeah, so this split is one that's hard to play against my that was my previous PB, because it was a gold, and I think is a really hard gold to beat. There's not really too much to that can go wrong. Well, okay, there's one big thing that can go wrong in this split, and it's the Moblin fight after you get the sword. But the rest of the split, it's what is it? It's like a 6-minute split, and there's a lot of text box. There's a lot of cutscenes and text boxes and stuff, and it's just kind of movement. But nothing too fancy. Yeah, I just take like this little bit of downtime here to just go through my splits again and just see like how I'm doing against average and some of best. And yeah, okay, this is average, and then it was hopping between world record and some of best, and then it's back on PB. Oh my god, what am I doing? I didn't even realize I did that. Or maybe I did at the time and then quickly forgot. How much time did I lose on this split? I lost like 3 seconds. Okay, so that was... How many rolls? I did 3 bad rolls in there. Oh my god. Yeah. I was like, how did I lose 3 seconds on this split? I didn't think anything bad went wrong. A lot did. It's just sloppy movement, really. And here's the Moblin fight. So I'd been just getting like unnecessarily nervous before this on all of my runs, because I don't know, it just keeps going wrong every single run I'm on. I practice it a ton and I always get it like first try, but every time I go up to do it, it just doesn't go well. Like there, I just sword slashed and hit the spear of the Moblin. Sure, it wasn't the worst because I didn't get hit and I didn't take extra time in doing it, but I prefer it if we get the 3 perfect sword slashes in on the Moblins and they die. I had to do an extra sword slash in there basically, but that's just a fight that we practice and should be able to nail perfectly every time, because it's consistent movement every time as well. So yeah, that could have gone way worse, but it was fine. Health here is fine. Ideally, you want to take like no damage in this section here. You really don't want to take any damage through these parts, because all the health that you have here is going to continue on through Caster, Wind Ruins, and Fortress of Winds. So basically, any damage you take here isn't time loss for this split. It's going to be time loss in the Fortress splits. It will be either in Mitz or in Enter Mazao. Will be the splits that you will lose time, because you'll have to take extra time to grab health to make sure you don't die. And we can't just rely on a backup fairy, because in the glitchless route, we don't actually get to have a backup fairy in a bottle, which is one of the things that makes this section quite tricky in comparison to any percent. Because in any percent, like, who cares? You can die. You just get fairy revived and you grab the backup fairy a little bit later. It only loses a couple of seconds. But in this, we don't grab any fairies until a little bit later. So yeah, lost like 3 seconds to PB, but only lost like 0.2 versus world record. So it was close to how I should be playing. But yeah, definitely some really, really dumb movement on my part. That it was a good second and a half that I could have just avoided in terms of time loss. It's just a story section here, which is going to shrink and go and talk to the Minish. Yeah, and then like you just want to menu bombs here at some point. I like to put the bombs over the sword. I haven't really talked much about menus, but yeah, like when you want to think about right before you do a menu where your cursor is and what the items you want to equip, and then have it in your mind what the menu buttons are, so that as soon as you press pause you can just like do it without having to like visually register, okay, my cursor's there, I need to move it like this way, and then select the item. You should have all of that in your head before you've even pressed the start button. That's the way to get perfect menus. It starts out with the super easy menus. There are, I believe, two... yeah, I'm pretty sure there's 2 menus in this run, which is press start, press A, press start, and like... and then there's also going to be a couple which is just basically start and then do a quick a save, which is also incredibly fast. So there's like the ones that you learn first as... to optimize your menus, and then you just expand it to eventually memorize all of the menus in the game, and so you'll go into them beforehand knowing, okay, I need to menu these 2 things and the cursor's here, and then you just do it. Do a little bit of an adjustment on that glide so that when I roll down, I roll past the grass. I do that to set up the movement through there as being on a really fast line. How did this go? I think I talked to Syrup an extra time by accident. No, I didn't. That must have been another run. Wait, did I gold this split? I think I... Oh yeah, this was a perfect split basically. Yeah, I've been talking about other stuff over the course of this split, but it's mainly because like all of my rolls were perfect. Enemy RNG isn't a major factor. It was just like focusing on the movement and nailing that, and I did on this split. So yeah, back gold, I believe. $344. Fire gets a 346 and Darky gets a 347. So yeah, like a good 3-4 seconds faster. I didn't see what that menu. I think that menu was bad, maybe? I've been getting confused on that menu because any percent now changes that menu to be Gus Jar and Boots. And there's also another menu in town which is also Gus Jar and Boots later on in the run, so I think I might have been a little bit confused there, but whatever. Health coming into caster is okay. It's not the worst, could have been better. Got a heart drop there because this run is blessed. Really happy about that. So then I just didn't need to worry about health at this point on. Just try and not take extra damage. But if I needed to, I can take damage to go faster through sections. No drop from the Dark Nut. We also got a good up Dark Nut RNG. He decided to do a dash at the beginning. If he doesn't do a dash, then the fight lasts a little bit longer. I think all of this movement was good. Yeah, it didn't bonk. I pressed the boots a little bit too early, so I started dashing up instead of left. That was the one bad part of this split, I think. I forgot what that menu was. That's not how you're supposed to do that menu, but it was fine. Did I do this part right? Yeah. Okay, a little bit of hesitation there, but that was a decent lily pad movement there. What was these enemies? Okay, pretty standard fight. Not, like, outstanding, but I had a lot of time to save versus PB on that split because PB kind of really made a lot of mistakes there. Now, the best part of this run is we save and quit there. Don't need to do any manips. Don't need to fuck about with the P-hat. Don't need to grab any kinstones. Just carry on playing. And it's so nice. So very happy every time I'm on a glitchless run and I get to here and I'm like, yes. No bullshit. I did a boot dash through the Igor and I really shouldn't have because now looking at my health, I was taking a lot of unnecessary damage. I got hit by the Moldozers, which isn't ideal. And yeah, there's just a lot of enemy RNG on this next section, so you kind of just want to minimize as much additional time loss as possible. So then I realized that and I started rolling through the Igors. So every time you come up to one of those Igors, you just make a mental calculation in your head as like, do I want to sacrifice some health here in order to save some frames by doing a boot dash through this enemy, or do I do a roll through, which is slightly suboptimal, but you save some health. It's just a trade-off that you need to make your mind up. That was one of the fastest menus in the game. You just you press start, you press A to equip the sword, and you press start again. Easy menu. I did pick up a bit of grass there unnecessarily. I think I was trying to roll up into the cave and just pressed the roll button slightly too early and I just picked up the grass. Now we've got kinstone menus here. Yeah, like you just remember that the first one is you go down one, and then the second one second and third you just go to the bottom one. Time for Wind Ruins. Yeah, just some nice tight movement there. Yeah, I killed these Tektites hoping for a heart drop, but it's just like, I haven't been getting a heart drop from those guys in a very long time. I'm just kind of, oh yeah, it's a bad roll there. Rolled into the wall instead of around the corner of it. That rope moved out of the way. If the rope stays over in the corner, you want to kill it, ideally, because like, it can decide to get in the way of you as a Minish, so you do want to kill it to make it go away. Yeah, just trying to minimize as much damage here as possible. Like, you can do some slightly more optimal movement, saving some frames here and there by just like doing a boot dash through an enemy or stuff like that. But I think my main focus here was not having to get extra health in Fortress if I don't have to. Yeah, I got in the wrong spot there with the rock beetles, but that was mostly a fast fight there. Got really lucky again with another heart drop, and it's faster to grab that heart there than to grab another heart later on in here. But that was a super solid Wind Ruins. And yeah, now 30 seconds ahead of what my PB was. It's at 54.06. Yeah, both Darky and Fire are ahead through this part. They have sub 54 into Fortress. I should be getting sub 54 into Fortress in my future runs if I just don't goof up Deepwood. Really focusing in this room, making sure I don't fall off. And I did. I can't believe I did that. And luckily, I got absolutely blessed there, because there is no way that I should have respawned on that tile. I don't know how I managed to fall off and also still tag that tile as my last tile touched. That was just incredibly lucky. But yeah, like in my last 3 runs, I've made mistakes in that room, so I guess I practiced that. Really shouldn't be making that kind of mistake. Health good though. 3 hearts is fine. I could grab 2 hearts here and get up to full, but mostly unnecessary at this point. I think I considered, I was like, I'm not going to get hit anymore, so I will grab 1 more heart after this, the other side. I wanted to see how the Armos went, because I've got a huge time saver here. I've got 20 seconds of time saver with my PB, because my PB gets just a really bad Armos kill in this section here. In this next room. Yeah, here we do this quick clone strat. We need good RNG from the Armos, and we did get it here. It can be slightly faster if the Armos decides to walk over the top of where your clone is, so then when you do the spin attack to create your clones, it actually kills the Armos straight away, and then you can just, since he killed it with that spin attack, you just walk directly through. But because he walked down and in the way, he was probably going to kill my clone, so I had to take a couple sword slashes to kill it. So that's like 1 second away from being perfect, but it's still way faster than like getting hit as you're charging your clones, and then like you have to kill it, and then you have to start charging your sword again, and then create your clones. And you can lose a huge amount of time. Yeah, so I look at my health and I'm like, yeah, I'm 3 health, is not like super confident. I'm gonna grab 1 heart here and then do the menu for bow, and then do this next section. I was fully against the left-hand wall there, which was just bad. I should have adjusted right more before firing the bow shot. I forgot to take into account that I had to walk a little bit further before rolling through the Stalfos, so I wasn't going to be in line to fire the arrow at the Igor. Good Darknut kill. We didn't move him far enough to the right so that we could avoid the Kinstone, but it was good enough. And then here we like throw the bomb like that to get it to trigger a bit faster. Lost 5 seconds there. There's a sloppy movement in places, but not the worst, and ended up saving a big chunk there, because that is a difficult split to pull off. You lose a lot of time there on average, because there's just so much enemy RNG. And having to get health drops in that section is pretty common. This is one of the scariest rooms in the run, and got good Wallmaster RNG there. If the Wallmaster grabs you, you lose a minute. Yeah, my dash through there wasn't perfect. I should have not fallen down that hole. How did these guys go? Yeah, that was okay. Get an extra heart drop because this run's blessed. That's like 4 additional heart drops over the course of this run. Just purely RNG. We dash through there. Yeah, it had a fast enough cycle to be able to hit that cycle. I've had it before where both of the ropes were close enough together so that you can kill them in 2 sword slashes instead of 4, so that you get there even faster on the cycle before the rolling pincer moves over into the corner. But it's basically RNG, and there's not much you can choose about that. Yeah, happy hour mark. Yeah, I want to. I got the hour mark during the Minish section. I was super scared about those guys. Like, that guy was... that Wall Master was so close. I'd lost a really good run up to this one of my previous practice runs. I don't know how I got hit by the Moldorm there. Like, I was like climbing the ladder up and the Moldorm hit me, and I'm like, wait, what? But yeah, like I'd done another practice run where it had basically died here, where I lost an entire minute there, but then I was like, I'm still ahead, and I kept on going because I was like, I was a little bit ahead of what this run was in one of my other practice runs until it died there. So I was just glad that this one didn't also die in the same spot. I didn't need extra health, so I just rolled directly into Mazao, and that is 50 seconds ahead of PB. Just a really nice fortress, to be honest. Don't really want to ask for too much better. There's a kind of a lot of RNG involved. It's so much RNG from everything before fortress that also determines how fast your fortress is going to be. But basically, I didn't take a lot of damage beforehand, so... Yeah, so what was this Enter Mazao? It was like a 101.21, and like Darky has a 101.13, which so I'm like 8 seconds behind, and then Fire has a 101.06. So I'm like 15 seconds behind Fire at this point. I don't think I get a good Mazao at all. I think it was both a combo of the RNG really sucking and me also really sucking. Do I get the... I don't think I get the fast strat here. Yeah, I goofed that up. I missed an arrow shot, and then I missed that arrow shot again. So I had to do that. That wasn't the worst. I was mostly focused on my arrow count, to be honest. I just wanted to make sure I left the fight with 30 arrows. Because if you don't leave this fight with 30 arrows, stuff later on in the game becomes way harder. It's not something you have to really consider in any percent, because you don't use a bow outside of here, except for, like, Stair Clip and then Vati 2. Whereas, it's because it's got the... You have the boomerang in any percent, but we don't get the boomerang in Glitchless, so any switches or range things that we need to hit, it has to be with the bow, which means that we use the bow a lot more. So yeah, really bad Mazao fight. I think that was one of the worst RNGs you can get. Ended up losing like 10 seconds. Now this is one of my most practiced sections. I do it on a regular basis because it's so difficult to just forget what to do. And unfortunately, I did forget. I forgot talking to the dog, which is such a bad mistake to make. It lost 25 seconds, essentially. It was really bad. I couldn't believe that I forgot to talk to the dog, so I haven't actually looked back at this, and I want to see how it went, but yeah. Because I was actually very focused on all of this, and then, yeah, I don't know what happened at the time, I just completely brain farted. Yeah, I focused on that menu a lot, making sure you get the boots and the bottle equipped. You don't want to equip the bottle on the wrong button, because then you'll accidentally dump your bottle when you're trying to do the boot dash, and then lose a bunch of time. Remember here to do the right number of rolls so we don't roll into any Eslo triggers, because that room has 3 Eslo triggers, which is pretty obscene. A single room, it's like every couple steps, but yeah. I think, actually looking back at this now, there's a lot of really, really sloppy movement here. I think I timed there that doing it, not doing a roll, but instead of walking up into the book is slightly faster than doing a roll up into it. You don't grab the book as fast, but if you do a roll up, you then continue the roll after you've picked up the book into the bookcase, and then going back down is a little bit slower. Do I talk? I just didn't. Oh, I didn't go and talk to the dog. Oh, so dumb. So stupid. And then that was a poor menu from me. And then I go up here, and I see the dog, and I'm waiting, and I'm like, oh crap, he's not moving. He should have moved already a little bit by the time I rolled up there, so him not moving at all just instantly was like, yeah, he didn't move. I didn't talk to him. Yeah. So that was dumb. And then I did a bunch of rolls there because I was just so flustered about not talking to the dog. And then, yeah, that's 25 seconds lost. So if I'm not ahead at Ocarina, I should absolutely be ahead of PB on Power Bracelets on any comparison runs from this point on. Like, it might actually be pretty difficult to keep up to Ocarina with this run, just because the only major mistake is like 10 seconds in Deepwood, and then it's a very, very solid gameplay throughout the rest of the run up to this point. And then, yeah, 25 seconds there is just something you shouldn't... It's not a mistake you should be making. I was also a bit worried here. I was like, that dog's gonna hurt in terms of time loss. I'm gonna have a look at the power bracelets and see if it's worth resetting. I did. So this was yesterday before one of the randomizer tournament matches. So I had a timer on my phone which went off basically 3 hours before that match, just so that I knew that that was my last last round timer. Basically, is like after that timer goes off, I don't start any more runs. I think it had already gone off at this point, maybe? I can't remember when exactly it went off, but I basically knew I didn't have much time to do another run here. And I was still 30 seconds ahead of PB. I was 7 seconds behind what world record pace was, and I was like, it's not the worst, I can keep going. Dog, please. Forgot the dog did that. I don't know what that movement was, but it was okay. Yeah, also a lot of this run, I was just thinking about all of the horrible mistakes I'd been making on other runs prior to this, other practice runs. So one of my other practice runs, I fell off here after making my clones. I walked over to the book, walked just off the end of the book, and it was so dumb. So then I made sure to stop a little bit early. I tried going up left to go over to the fountain again for some reason, because I can, but then the book blocking me was like, oh wait, no, because we don't go this way, we go back and grow to grab the book. So I'm glad the book's like just solid there to block you off and make you not go in the right. Did I turn my mic off on and say something there? I can't hear if I turn my mic on and say anything. I think the next time I do it is in Templar Droplets. Really lucky I didn't bonk there. I think I wasn't looking at the right point there. Yeah, so I think at basically like power bracelets, I was like 40 seconds behind Darky and like 50 seconds behind Fire after making that mistake. So yeah. Also making some silly mistakes here, like falling off that lily pad. Kind of brain farted there again. After that, I was thinking I had to go and shrink again, but no, we were just going to grab the book and leave back to town. So it was like a second loss there to that roll. Go and hand in the books now. Yeah, this flippers section is basically a combination of don't forget where you're supposed to go on your way to the flippers chest, and then also how good is your fight versus the scissor beetles. It's kind of similar to the power bracelet skip right beforehand, which is also make sure you don't make any mistakes on your way through most of the section, and then there's a fight at the end. Did I menu here? I think I menued early. I can't remember. No, actually, I was using this section just to go over and have a look at my my splits and see how far behind I was, or like what the graphs looked like on in comparison to the other splits. Did I menu? No, I still haven't. Oh, okay. I decided to menu here. I thought I decided to do that menu a little bit earlier because we can do that menu from the point that we flip the pot over and turn Minish. So any of the time that we're actually Minish size is fine. I didn't go for the fairy because I'm only 1.5 off full, so I decided to grab the single heart. Scissor Beetle fight, not too bad here. Didn't actually take any damage, which is good. Yes, lost 6 seconds. But also saved. It was like off 6 seconds off gold, but like still way better than like what my PB and what would be good for world record pace. And now it's time for droplets. We got hit by an Octode there just to bless the droplet section. I've been worried recently because my droplet section in my PB is actually incredibly good. Like it golded nearly all of the sections. So, but over the course of the last week, I'd actually like got new golds which are way better in all of droplets. And I thought it was like most of droplets is essentially just luck, but I've actually been having incredibly consistent droplets that are within a couple of seconds off gold each time. I think this run falls off a little bit at the end. I do make a medium-ish mistake, which loses quite a few seconds. And I think without that, this would have been my best droplets ever. The ice blocking pushing there was well, in the first section it's really standard. There's not much to make a mistake here. This room though, the ice blocking is a little bit tricky. I'm getting good pushes on each of these. I think the first and second ones weren't great. That one's fine. And then yeah, very nice here. Yeah, all of that ice blocking was ice block pushing over was really good. Those ice blocks can be so difficult to push. We do a menu for Gust Jar. I wasn't paying attention to my save and quit there, but I think my B button was accidentally held there. This is really bad movement here. I kind of goofed that up and wasn't really sure what my optimal movement through there should have been. Pesto RNG here was a little bit slow of getting up. I got hit on the way up as well. It was fine, but it did the boot dash down. And we're going to ride the waterfall down and then go underwater as we hit the bottom of the waterfall, and it saves the falling animation and lets us screen transition faster. Nice grab on the underwater key. It's in kind of an awkward position in the underwater there. A bit poor on the opening of the locked door. Can do it a little bit faster. Yeah, I got onto the lily pad at the absolute top right corner, and it's fine to get onto the lily pad right on the corner there because all of your movement is going to be down and left, so you approach closer onto the middle of the lily pad and have less likelihood of falling off as you ride it, so it's not too much to worry about. This section here is, I've practiced this nicely, so you do like 5 huffs, roll off, and then get back onto the lily pad and move on very quickly. Some very clean movement there. I could have rolled off there if I was further on the right hand side of the lily pad. Do 4 right and then 2 up, and you do a screen transition rather quickly, which is something I was a little concerned with in that previous room, because sometimes you get to the with how we had been doing the lily pad movement there, the lily pad doesn't transition straight away, and it's really weird, but I think I've fixed it there. It's a little bit of tighter movement. If you're too slow, you can slide past and lose time, but I think it's not too bad. And then that's another fast menu there. We just pause, press A, unpause. Not good scissor beetles here. We don't want them to clump up like this, or like, well, not exactly clump up, but they're like covering each other off. Like when one fires their horn, there's another one looking at them, so they just fire the horn directly covering their buddy. Did I turn my mic on here? I thought I did. how did that gold with one of the most disgusting Scissor Beetle fights I've ever done? That was like a good 5 seconds lost in that Scissor Beetle fight alone. Yet that golded? What? Okay, whatever. Thanks, Smith. Yeah. So that was me reacting in the middle of the run. I was like, wait, because I knew this was like a really good run, and I hadn't been getting a gold for a while. Even though it was like I had been playing pretty good. But yeah, I didn't feel super great on that split. And in the Scissor Beetle fight, I was like, oh, I'm probably going to be losing some time here. And it just golded, and I was like, wait, what? Because that Scissor Beetle fight was bad. But yeah, it was only a gold by 0.2. I don't know how I bonked there. I was holding it up. Maybe I tapped a diagonal at the very last moment there, but I thought I was holding a straight up input. But yeah, that was a really, really good blue warp. First half of Templar Droplets. I think this is fine too. It's the lantern split. I mean, yeah, okay, I bonked. I didn't make the mistake again. There was another mistake I made in another run where I basically like pushed one of the switches and then just left and went up to the top without getting the key, and I was like, what am I doing? And I had to do extra stair walks, losing quite a bit of time. But I didn't make that mistake here. Alright, now it's just time for Blue Chew RNG. Oh yeah, and I think also at the beginning of the split I did grab extra health. But being on over 4 hearts here is pretty fine. You ideally want to be on like just full health throughout this next section because you're about to go into the Dark Maze. Dark Maze, you can't have enough health for. It's so easy to lose all of your health because of the blue Moldozers running around that take half a heart off. Pestos and the red Moldozers only do a quarter, but there's still a lot of them and they can get in the way as well. Did I make a mistake here on Blue Chew? I don't think I made a mistake. I think I just got bad RNG on Blue Chew because this is the worst boss in the game. Yeah, just really bad RNG from this guy. Like, he made sure that he was jumping when he was vulnerable. Yeah, and here it's supposed to do a 5 jump. It does 1 jump instead and starts walking around in the last cycle. You want him to do 5 jumps here because then he lands right as he becomes vulnerable again. Yeah, I thought I had enough time to do a Gust Jar in that point there, so... Yeah, that was just bad RNG combined with a little bit of bad bad judgment from me. So what's that, like 3.5 seconds lost? Still fine. Just kind of an average section. I decided to grab a heart there, so I'm nearly on full health going into the Dark Maze. It's the best place to be, really, is just nearly on full health. I mean, ideally full health is the point you want to be on. This is a beetle fight. They kind of got close enough together, so a couple of my sword slashes are hitting there. Okay, that was pretty good. Yeah, okay. If you get 2 of the Scissor Beetles basically on top of each other... Yeah, no, that... Okay. I thought that was a worse Scissor Beetle fight than it actually was. That was actually pretty good. What's the worst thing to happen is that they're covering each other off, but also standing far enough apart so that you can't double kill any of them. Look at this swarm of pestos there, and I'm like, no, screw all of you. Just killed them all. And yeah, Moldozers here being mean. Luckily, they didn't absolutely mob me there. Both of them came down at the same time, and they knocked me as I was using my bomb thing. Dude, this section's so fast. There's like no time to like react to any of this stuff. You just have to like 100% focus. You can't even commentate this. But yeah, I lost so much health. I lost a good like 3.5 hearts. Yeah, and then I was just fed up, and I was just like, I'm just gonna kill these guys because they're being in the way. Yo, Aero, thanks for the raid. We are over halfway through the world record run. We just got through the Dark Maze. It's one of the hardest sections of the run. Lost a lot of health. Have to grab the extra health on the way through just to make sure we don't die. This was a major mistake here. Well, I'm calling this a medium one. Wait, no. Yeah, okay, yeah, I did. I killed my clones there. Yeah. So that loses, like, 6 seconds, I think? Something like that. 6 to 8. It's definitely over a 5-second time loss. I don't know. I class everything as, like, within and anything under 5 seconds as like a minor time loss. Anything between 5 and 10 seconds as like a medium time loss, and anything more than 10 seconds I would just consider as a major time loss. Something to be avoided at all costs. Really weird roll there. Yeah, also coming into this room, RNG is always just going to be mean to you, so I like to just stand there and turn the lantern on before moving into the room, because I knew that Fireball was going to walk in front of me there. Yeah, this is such a chaotic part of the run, you kind of just like have to not overanalyze this stuff and instead just take what you get and just try and get through as quickly as possible. There's so much randomness that gets thrown at you. It's just practice that you have to hope for the best coming through this section. We're nearly at the end. Now we got the double Madapilla fight in the dark. Thinking back on this, I don't think I needed to grab both the heart drops there. I think I could have just grabbed one and then had a faster Madapilla entrance. But at the same time, the Madapillas can just be mean to you for no reason. Like this Madapilla, the red one was covering off the blue one, so I couldn't get to it fast. The first one unraged way faster, way beforehand. So I don't know. I think I lost like 2 or 3 seconds in that fight. Just because ideally you want to do enough damage to the first one so then it starts running around, and then you start dealing damage to the second one whilst the first one's running around, so that like as soon as the first one has readied up again so that you can do the second cycle of it, you've already dealt with the second one and you've gone back to the first one. So there was a little bit of downtime there where the first one had readied up again, but I was still dealing with the second one, and that's where that time loss is. You try and minimize that as much as possible, but those guys are random, so you just have to deal with what you get. I think I made another silly mistake here. It's nothing. It was just a minor loss. At the end of this cutscene, I completely forget what run I'm doing. I thought this was any percent, and then I realized, hang on, no, we just go fight Octo now. So I then did my menu. So that was like a second and a half or something. Now we're going to Octo, and we lost 8 seconds in this section. So yeah, without the clone fiasco, what is it, a fiasco? With basically not killing my clones earlier on, this would have been close to gold piece. So yeah, it was actually like an incredibly good droplets. Even though there's like mistakes all over the place, you can't play absolute perfect throughout all of droplets, and you just have to receive what you get. But now time for Octominute, just nice and consistent. No worries, just get through this. Don't lose concentration midway through the fight. That's kind of what the hard part of Octominute is for me, at least. I'm used to doing incredibly fast and rapid inputs, and playing the game as quickly as possible. But in Octo, you have to go at a consistent speed, not a fast speed, a consistent timing. And it's very slow paced as well as you're waiting for things. So yeah, just making sure that you don't lose focus, because you have to do it for... You have to basically focus for a good extended period of time here, get over a minute. But yeah, that was 3-roll. It was one of the harder 3-rolls to spot, but then I think I missed a roll there at the end, but it didn't matter. Yeah, Link's not perfectly over the water element spot, but he's going to walk there before the camera pans over, so you're not losing any time. Yep, and that is water element. And that puts us 12 seconds ahead of Darky and 11 seconds behind Fire. Darky didn't do Octo-Minute in their world record run, so that's basically the only reason why I'm ahead, is because they lost over 30 seconds on that split. Fire did do the minute, however they had a pretty poor droplets. The second half of droplets, at least, they lost about 30 seconds due to I think they died losing and had to use a fairy, and then yeah, just a combination of other stuff there accounts for like 30 seconds of time loss. And yeah, from this point on, I'm just always ahead of Darky throughout the rest of the run. But with Fire, it's going to get close. So I did my bomb strat there to blow up the entrance of Graveyard, so I can take away one of the menus here. So now when we menu this sword, we take the sword all the way through to Royal Crypt now, instead of having to menu for sword now, and then do another menu for bombs, and then menu back to sword. We actually, like, save 2 menus, I think. Yeah, getting the sword at this point is a little bit faster than getting the red sword, because we don't get a longer cutscene here. But yeah, you need to remember that you gain control of Link after Link holds the sword up. And then, yeah, do your movement there and start creating your clones to get out of the castle as quickly as possible. Yeah, this is all... Yeah, no mistakes here. Yep, no bonks. Talking to the guard fast as well. And then X out of the courtyard. Dash through here. And now I definitely gold this, because that was all completely flawless, no mistakes. How much of a gold was this, though? It was half a second. Because, yeah, I think I already got a gold in one of my runs right before this, which had golded by like 2 seconds or something like that. So, yeah. Here I kind of goofed and completely forgot what the movement was, so I did like rolls up and stuff, and I'm like, no, I was supposed to dash up and then dash here, and then like, I don't know, I was just freestyling here. It's just like, I'm just gonna roll through, just get out of the Lost Woods. I think I need to go back and figure out what's the optimal movement through Lost Woods. I know all of those screen transitions were correct, but it was the like the dashing and versus rolling. It was a bit all over the place. 2 magical shell drops there, which was just interesting. It's just an additional text box that you don't want to get. It doesn't matter too much, though. Enter Crypt of the Lantern. We're gonna melt the Gibdo, grab the key, and move on. Pull it down to a visual cue there. This section is an auto-scroller. We just sit around and wait for that platform to move through. But then from like this point on here, you want to move fast. Because it's now just get the last key and then go through to the next room as quickly as possible. That was a reasonable fight from the Stalfos there. Yeah, it was just fine section there. How much time did I lose? I don't think I lost that much, did I? It was 2 seconds. I think it was mostly Lost Woods that was resulting in that 2 seconds loss. I think Crypt was absolutely fine. Alright, time for Veil Falls. Throw a bomb there as quickly as possible, and then we do a dash into the tree there to see if we can get a fairy, because being on full health here is going to be nice. It means that we'll be on full health going into Palace. Like, the health that we have here, if we can try and avoid as much damage as possible, that's going to be great. And basically, when the bomb was on the ground there, blowing up the boulder, we were just seeing if we could get lucky with the fairy, and if it hovers up, we can grab it quickly, and it did. So yeah, we got to grab a fairy without losing time, which is nice. If we don't grab a fairy there and we're desperate for a fairy, we can grab a fairy in this room here, in the far right pot there. Or we just ignore them all and get a fairy outside of Palace. Ideally, getting the one outside of Palace you only want to do if you already used your fairy in droplets. That's the fairy in a bottle, so you want to bottle another fairy. I was thinking that I was going to dash into the red tornado there, but I think my dash was bad. How was this Cloudtops? Really? This is a gold, apparently. Or was this a gold? Yeah, I think I remember doing this and thinking this like I've made a lot of mistakes on this section. Yeah, I was looking at some older videos and realized that, yeah, we can actually, like, we don't want to be gliding on the tornado as long as possible, because the tornado is, it's slower than doing a roll, so we get off the tornado as quickly as possible. Or, not the tornado, but, like, gliding with Eslo, we try and stop gliding as quickly as possible. Do a bad roll. Dude, I've made quite a few mistakes on this split. I don't know how this golded. But this is definitely suboptimal and definitely improvable. Yeah, just to align ourselves with the clouds there. makes that easy to do and not accidentally jump into a tornado. Here we get off the glide as quickly as possible, roll left and down, because rolling is just faster. Yeah, I was trying to mash L there, so that was a bonk as well. I do not believe that this golds. There's no way that this can gold with all of these mistakes that I'm making. The shark fight wasn't particularly fast. The first one, at least, it wasn't in the best position. It wasn't in a terrible position. It can be way worse and be harder to slower to kill, but you can definitely get a faster one than what I got. I must just play absolutely perfect throughout this section and get perfect RNG. Roll left and up here. Yeah, but that's faster movement now. Do our little shortcut here. Otherwise, we would have to fall down and then go up and then down again. Whereas here, we just do a glide through and then we just hop down straight in. It's about a second faster. Right, he jumps off. What about this guy? Very nice. Yeah, okay, so that was actually a pretty decent second fight. Could have been a little bit better, but like, you're not expecting much better than that. Sometimes they can just like both just jump into the corner and kill themselves straight away, which is super nice. But you shouldn't be expecting a super good shark fight like that. Yeah, and there's just no more RNG from this point on. Just don't make mistakes. I just kind of forgot what the menu was there. And I was like, I need to do a save and quit. And I just was like, do I get my bottle? And I glanced at the bottle. I was like, oh wait, no, the bottle does still have a fairy in it. At last fusion, and then we head up into Palace. You can also menu sword there, but it doesn't really matter because Curse is going to be over sword now. And when we get into Palace, we're going to menu sword and bow anyway. But we didn't want to menu sword and bow on that save and quit because we want to do some boot dashes there. There's going to be another boot dash that another 2 boot dashes that we do. But yeah, that was a gold. It was a 2-second gold. That was terrible. Well, okay, not terrible, but like certainly improvable. Definitely an improvable split there by a couple of seconds. I had bonks and rolling in the wrong direction on a gold. Need to improve that. Yeah, no mistakes in Wind Drive. It's fine. And now we enter Palace. Yeah, I noticed I was 1 heart off from full, so then I was like, I'll just grab 1 in the entrance, it's fine. Now this room, I saw the P-hats all gather in front of there, so I'm like, screw it, I'm going to come over and hit that switch instead. It's just some of the options that you have to choose when you're coming through here. All of these guys are in the way, and I'm like, dude, really? I tried to pick up a skull and throw it, and it completely did the wrong movement there and instead rolled left into the P-hat. It's completely opposite of what I wanted to do. I was trying to pick up skulls and throw them at the P-hats. It was just bad. Those Stalfos were in decent enough positions though that we could just aggro bait them into doing their jump attack, and they don't cause us any issues. Yeah, so that first room of this dungeon wasn't great, and the Wizrobe fight does not go well either. Like, I make a mistake in the last section as well, so that's bad. Yeah, I Don't know what I was doing there. I just decided to roll into the Eslo trigger, obviously slower. You can completely avoid the Eslo trigger in the first place. Completely forgot to do the bombs. I'm like, what am I doing? The split is just a train wreck. I'm already like 4 seconds down. Probably way more. Yeah, so I tried to gild that last guy and I didn't kill him, so we had to repeat the cycle here. Didn't stop in front of the chest, and we we lost 14 seconds on that. I think like a good 6 or so seconds of it is the an extra cycle on that Wizrobe. But yeah, I shouldn't make that. That's another point in the run that I need to it was a mistake, and somewhere I'm going to be able to save time when playing against this. Now this is just the auto-scroller section where you're trying to take as little damage as possible and don't make any silly mistakes where you lose time, like walking your clones into this block or falling off the platform. Really dumb stuff which shouldn't happen because this is an easy section and it's just there's no point in trying to like super optimize it and go fast. And this run is so blessed, I get a heart drop from that crow, so I'm even more health now. Very nice amount of health here. The more health, the better. We're just going to constantly be taking damage throughout all of Palace. The more like extra heart drops we get, it's just going to be better. Yeah, time to do pot push. Again, just another like auto scroller section. Can't really do this much faster. Make sure we don't push the pots in the wrong way and lock ourselves in. Yeah, we menu bow and boots there to boot cancel that arrow shot, and then stand underneath the key. I don't know how I bonked there. I must have just done a little bit of a. I thought I was holding a diagonal there. Maybe I released a diagonal, or maybe I had slid against something weirdly. Anyway, I really like this room. This is one of my favorite rooms in Palace. It's just so satisfying to pull off cleanly. I go for a slightly harder strat there, which is slightly faster, because I don't do a boot dash entering that room. Yeah, and just very, very nice movement through that section. This section of Palace between pot push and this room here is so satisfying to practice, and you just see your improvement as you do more of it. Don't know what happened on that menu there, but yeah, you just improve slowly, and you can just very viscerally see your improvement as you practice that section and get better at it. So it's just super satisfying. That chain soldier fight was whatever. I think I was just getting a little bit confused. Nice Stalfos movement here. I knew he was going to come over to me, so I baited him into the corner. Our spin attack killed him. I don't know why I moved up here. You want to move down it slightly faster. Go through the middle. And grab an extra heart, because we've actually taken a lot of health damage. Time for this fight. How does this go? I think it's not the fastest. I thought they were going to aggro at me, and the moblins just didn't go anywhere near the bombs, which was a bit of a shame. But not the slowest fight. Ideally, the fight ends when the bombs explode. I tried opening the chest, but I managed to roll right there, interestingly. But yeah, if the bombs explode with the moblins nearby, the bomb explosion will kill the moblins in one hit. So that's kind of ideal, is that you go and stand over the bottom bomb, and then the moblins, if they're close enough, they will aggro down towards you. And the theory is that they're either close enough to the bottom so that they'll dash down into the bottom where the bomb is and then die, or they're so high up that you then roll up and then sword slash and knock them off the edge. But they were neither. They just kind of ignored me staying around the middle and then moved over to the right, so not the best. Got the quick kill on the Darkner, super easy, don't really need to mention too much about that. I think I roll it the wrong way in this room now. We're entering back into the dark room again. Yeah, I lined up. I knew I'm supposed to line up with the skulls and then roll left. It's not the first skull; it's the second skull down. So that was just dumb by me. Nice P-hat RNG, and then we get the quick kill in here. This is one of the scariest rooms in the dungeon. Got a bonk there. That was not optimal, but whatever. Do a hop over that one and then that one. I really like that improved movement there. It's slightly altering how we do the movement there. Tried doing a boot dash a little bit too late there. Yeah, very, very tight optimized movement in this section. Yeah, I have been thinking about these palace sections that we don't do in any percent and how we can clean these up and make them as fast as possible. Now we're going to do another Wall Master fight, Floor Master. These guys are terrifying. If they grab you, you lose like a minute and a half or something. It's really bad. You just don't want to get grabbed by those guys. I've had runs die there quite a few times. The riskiest strat is using the bow there because if they rush you, you can't do anything. Like if you have your sword out, you can mash swords to kill them as they're rushing towards you. Nice bomb movement there. I was always trying to figure out how to deal with these Gibdos, and I figured out, yeah, the best way is just drop a bomb as quickly as possible and then carry it over, like, slowly around through the room. But it's fine to then, like, take your time dodging the Gibdos because you're waiting for the bomb to explode anyway. But yeah, and then we're on max bombs. We do all of those extra screen transitions there just to make sure that we're on max bombs going into DHC, because we need bombs very importantly in DHC. And I especially needed bombs because I was bad. And we'll get to that point later, but I'm glad I was on max bombs here. The Moblin managed to deploy his spear at the last second and do a full heart of damage, which was bad. I considered going and getting the fairy, but I thought it's a bit too slow to go after the fairy. I fell off on the 4th jump because I jumped way too early. That was so dumb. I then was like, I knew that was bad, but I was just hoping that it would work, but it didn't. So yeah, that was really, really stupid. But I'm not actually going to lose that much time here, I don't think. 8 seconds. I thought I was going to lose way more time than that. Basically, without that last falling off, that would have been close to like gold pace. That would have been pretty good. Like, it was still saving time over like what my average run should be. Like, it consistently good. I mean, it wasn't as good as PP. I ended up losing time, losing about 5 seconds. But like, it's just because the rest of that split was very, very solid. Very solid gameplay. And now we get Georg. So This Georg golds, and it's pretty nuts. So what happens here? I get knocked off there. I do my buffer. I do a pause buffer to make the eyes open up faster. We get the good RNG there, so I don't need to create clones, and then I start charging up again to make more clones. Get another round of good RNG from Georg. So in the hardest cycle, we get good RNG twice in a row. Getting good RNG is a 50-50 coin flip. Get a good blue one again, and another perfect end to the fight.
Jesus fucking Christ, that Georg.
Eye
What
patterns
the
that we
fuck just
needed, we
happened?
got good RNG
What?
on.
That was the best
That
luck
was just
Georg I've
insane.
ever
Like,
had. What?
You can only get that if you get good luck.
Fuck it. I don't know what my time is, but
so on there I got good luck and yeah, capitalized on that. There's no way I'm going to be beating this gold. That was a 5-second gold. 5.6 seconds. That was insane. There is no way I will be able to beat that. That gold there, that was a 138 with a menu at the beginning of the fight. The menu is counted into that time. Semi is the other person that has like one of the fastest Georgs. He also has a 138, but he does his menu before the fight, so I save a second or so from that menu in that fight. I think that's the fastest ever Georg fight anyone's done. I think I can confidently say that, because you and the reason why is because I fell off the blue Georg in the second round of the blue Georg, and did I did the pause buffer to get the screen transition back to the red one as quickly as possible. It started the next red wave way faster, and yeah, we don't go for that in runs. We know that's faster, but we don't go for it in runs because you have to wait for your clones to be created half the time, because you don't always get the good luck I got, which was the eye patterns that you don't need clones to create. So yeah, yeah, pretty insane. So we're now a minute and a half ahead of PP, because PP ended up losing like 50 seconds in that fight. So yeah, I'm basically like just saved a minute over PP in the Georg fight alone. Yes, that was a 154.59 wind element. So that was a sub 155. Darky has a 155.23, and Fire has a 155 flat. So I'm ahead of both Darky and Fire Turtle at this point. Currently, I mean, I immediately lose to I lose some time over to Fire on this section here, because doing the stone guards was a little bit slow on my part. Yeah, so this was absolutely my best pace into DHC. I had not had a better run than this up to this point. So then, like, yeah, nerves are starting to settle in here. I think it was a while. I think it was coming out of Octo. I'd actually like hidden my splits, and I didn't even know what pace I was on at this point. I just knew I golded Georg, and I was like, how? Well, not how, but like, yeah. Okay, so that was bad movement there in at the beginning of the stone guard section. But yeah, I didn't know I was 50 seconds ahead of world record pace here, but I knew I was ahead. Yeah, so I lost like 3 seconds on that split. So a little bit behind fire here, about a second. But I've put a huge ton of practice into DHC. Get good curses there. I like to do the grab a bomb at the beginning, and it gives it enough time for those guys to move, and they can run off out of the way nicely, which is good. But yeah, you have to just deal with those guys RNG in that section. If they hit you, you lose 10 seconds because you get cursed for that period of time, and you can't do anything. You can't interact with anything. You can't use any items whilst you're cursed for 10 seconds, which is awful. Happy 2-hour mark. Right, so the beginning section of DHC, well, okay, so we got the first small key, but like from this point, for the next like 2 minutes, it's going to be an incredibly difficult section of DHC. We've got the first cannon room, which people are used to from doing in any percent. If you miss this this throw, you lose like 12 seconds. But we get that first try. We don't want to, yeah. Like these next two rooms, this room and the next two rooms are incredibly easy, and you just don't want to like let your nerves take over here. I did an extra sword slash there. You're starting to tell a little bit of my movements getting nervous. Because I know I'm on like an incredibly good pace here, and don't want it to don't want to make dumb mistakes. I'd already lost a huge amount of time in that room in another run, so I was just conscious about that. Now this is the hardest strat in DHC, well, apart from the Vati fights, but this is the second cannon room. I'd been practicing this a ton, and I'd been getting it first try every time, like multiple times in a row. So I go for it here. I throw the bomb correctly, and I stand too high, and I miss the bottom guy. And then I'm like, I need to do the clone backup strat here. And I was completely wrong. I was like, no, I should not have gone for the clone backup strat, because I hadn't practiced the clone backup strat. So I was completely not relying on muscle memory here. I was nervous as hell, and frantically doing a strat that I had not been practicing, and I failed that backup twice in a row, and I say fuck it, I'm doing the strat I've been practicing, which is the bomb strat. And I did exactly the same mistake again, because I knew I was too high last time, and then I did it again. I was just too high again. So third try, we finally get it with a ton of mistakes in the middle, and that lost 45 seconds. So that is a huge mistake on my part here in DHC, and something I definitely don't want to be cashing in as time save in the next run. Bad Dark Knight fight here. Should have just let him go by, but yeah, I don't know, a little bit tilted here. Yeah, like you can tell in my movement, sliding around that throne, going up and down instead of just like pushing it off to the side. I wasn't sure if world record was dead at this point, because I wasn't sure about how far ahead I was, or how much time I had lost. I thought I lost over a minute. I had lost count of how many times I'd retried the second cannon room, and was just like feeling pretty awful. And then, I don't know, it kind of made my nerves melt away a bit for a lot of the rest of DHC, so I kind of just like recomposed myself in this section here. There's not too much you have to think about here. There's a long gliding section of not doing much, so I just kind of recomposed myself and was like, okay, maybe world record's dead. That's fine. No pressure. Just get a PB. Just do solid, consistent movement from this point on. Health's still really good. Just stop worrying. Yeah, so just relying on the backup strats that and optimal movement that I know through this section, doing the nice boot use there. Now we got a chain soldier fight here, which is a little bit random. Yeah, the guy on the left decided to do a shot off to the side there, making us take a lot of damage. We got hit by the chains 3 times, I think. Maybe 2 times, but it does like a full heart of damage. It was actually really bad. Didn't want to take that much damage there. We're already losing time, and we haven't even got into the Dark Knight fight yet. But we do. We got some faster menus and movement here. I'm getting the extra arrow drop as well, and completely fluffing that. I'm like, really. I don't think I needed that arrow drop. I'm not too sure. I think I could have been fine not going for it. But I was just thinking it's better to have it than to run out of arrows in Vati 2. And we're still 18 seconds ahead of world record pace. And we're still 50 seconds ahead of PB. I didn't check my my splits here. I can't remember when I did. I think I checked my splits in Vati after Vati 2. I think I can't remember. I think I checked my stats at Vati 2, saw it was still green, so then just hit the go live button. But yeah, anyway, second half of DHC. Now we're gonna do all of the towers. Sorry, what were we at Black Knight? At Black Knight I was still 15 seconds ahead of Darky, which was, yeah, like I've got it as 18 seconds. Fire, I'd ended up losing a load of time over Fire, even though that Fire made a lot of mistakes in there. I was 12 seconds behind Fire at Black Knight. But yeah, so that was the first tower done. We do that one first because there's basically no RNG outside of the Dark Knight fight. And then we start doing the nips. I did 2 rolls there like an idiot, and then I jumped here expecting him to dash down, but he's not going to dash down because I did 2 rolls and I have to fight him normally, so that was dumb. Took extra damage that we really didn't want to take. This is the easiest tower to minute, and I just completely brain farted and do it by doing 2 rolls there. But at least we get the spin strat here fast, rolls in the wrong direction. But I'm on low health here, so in the next tower minute, I do the variant which we go and grab extra health. Grab 2 extra hearts because I need it. Being on, what, 3 hearts here? 2.5 hearts is not good. 2.5 hearts is not good at this point. I need to grab all of the health I can get. So my minute here, I count 12 rolls up to the Dark Knight room. And then we do a roll up and then diagonal jump down. Killed the top guy. Didn't do it properly. A little bit too slow on the slashes, so we lost a minute. Yeah, I have no idea what the RNG is at this point, so we're just going to do fast movement through here. And then the ghosts are going to be random. If we had the minute, I've got my minute that manipulates the Dark Nuts and then also this ghost fight to make it the same every time and nice and fast. Yeah, so I consider that as like the medium minute. The one we did before was the easy one. This is the medium one, and now we're going on to the harder one. So this is a little bit more complicated, but basically after this fight, I look at the, like, this fight goes perfectly. That's exactly how it's minute. It was a shell, which means that it's a multiple, what is it? I have some notes for this, but basically I need to count multiples of 4 RNG rolls. So I basically count to 4 each time, and then just like go back and then count to 4 again each time. And it, because there's 4 of the guys in that room, all we need to be keeping track of basically is multiples of 4. We can advance, if we're on the right RNG, we can advance RNG 4 more, and it will adjust the correct correct ghost to be the same one, because it will just cycle through by 4 RNG calls, which is really interesting. But anyway, this is coming onto the Dark Nut minute now. This is the peak. This is my heartbeat is like 120. Like I don't know what is a fast heartbeat. I don't know. Anyway, my heart's beating as harder than like I'm doing like a hard like an like a I don't know. Like I'm doing like some extreme exercise basically. Like I'm even nervous now just going through this, dude. Like 27 seconds ahead of world record pace, a minute ahead of PB. Trying to do the Dark Nut minute here. Just doing deep breaths, trying to lower my heart rate because it's distracting me from being able to do the minute. And I fucked up. At the beginning of that room, I did a sword slash, and I thought I pressed the button too early, so I pressed it again, not realizing that I had pressed the sword already. So we did 2 sword slashes when we were supposed to do 1. So the minute was wrong, the Ketons were random, and the Keton killed my clone before I got to hit the platform. I was so considering resetting here. I was just gonna do I was gonna reset, and I was gonna do the minute all over again. But I was like, no, just go through it. Hope for the good Dark Knight RNG. Did not get it. Now we have to do a super frustrated and annoyed Dark Knight fight here. I'm not sure how much better I could have done this. It was bad. It's just not good RNG from any of these guys. They're all clumping up together. I'm trying to just get them killed as quickly as possible. Like this Black Knight, I was expecting him to die there. But we pinned him against the corner there and killed him. Yeah, so it was actually the red ones that had been hurt a lot. Yeah, lost 30 seconds there. Really bad. Only 7 seconds ahead of the world record at this point. Still like 46 seconds ahead of PB. Still, I don't know if I checked my splits here just to see if I was still ahead. I think I might have just assumed that it was like behind at this point, but I basically needed a perfect Vati 1 fight. So yeah, this is non-minute. Kind of a sloppy menu there. Didn't need to do the menu there, but I did it anyway. Grabbed a heart whilst we got some downtime there. Really nice. No teleport there. So that's the second cycle down. Now we've got the third, or the third stage. He does 1 teleport, missed that eye, and does another teleport. Right, final cycle here. Slow eye movement. No fire. No extra teleport. That incredibly good. Vati 1. That was a 115. The manip gets a 113. That was 2 seconds slower than doing a manipulated Vati 1 fight. That was one of the fastest, if not the fastest Vati 1 I've ever had outside of doing a minute. Right, time for Vati 2. Getting nice movement there. He wasn't bullying us at the beginning of that. Getting lucky on picking the right side for the eyes. Even better RNG, he's moving over to the left, making it easier for us to hit him. He does not the best attack pattern there, but it's not too bad. Getting lucky again, it's at the bottom. Now we just need to create our clones. A little bit slow here on creating clones. Gonna hope to try and hit him before he creates, and then he shoots the purple spikes. That's the thing I was worried about, was getting him to do a purple spike pattern there, but it's not too bad because we can just create our clones again, and if he just goes down, we've got a good position here to cancel the clone hit, and my auto splitter decided to stop working, and I was looking. I had loaded up the the splits here, and I realized, dude, I'm 20 seconds ahead. I'm 20 seconds ahead of world record pace, and I turn on my mic and I go live. I'm gonna lower the audio. You're basically I turn on my mic at this point and then keep on talking like over the game. So we're not gonna get any game audio here, but I'm just gonna like not have I don't want to have myself talking over me as I'm doing this. But yeah, this is the point that I was live yesterday, and people were coming in and seeing the reaction to the last section. Crazy good health. I basically didn't get hit at all by during the Vati fights. Super good. Yeah, this could have been a 217 by judging when I entered Vati 3, but I was just super nervous and wanted the run not to die. He's being at the absolute worst here. Like, how bad is this RNG? Look at this. Look how bad Vati 3 was being there. That was ridiculous. Not only is this like a world record pace run, but Vati just yeah. Like I would be nervous in a normal Vati 3, but then he just does the worst there. You can't get much worse than that. The bad arm into him just sitting in front of it. Right, recompose ourselves a bit there. We took like 5 hearts of damage. We took 5 whole hearts of damage in there. And then this eye, oh my god, in this room, this eye is just going all over the place. What I don't understand what this eye's movement is. So typically the eye's actually, like the main eye decides to stay on the edge of the arena. And you just sword slash him against the side. That was incredibly close to kicking me out before killing the eye. If it did that, world record would have died. But yeah, now it's the final section. Just need to not choke. Just compose myself and focus on getting the correct alignment here. I was super nervous and constantly doubting myself that I was actually aligned properly. I was looking at the timer here and I'm like, dude, this can be it can be a 217. I just need to not mess up the last one. And we got a good position there, just to face up. Nope. And then we just kept on adjusting wrong and moving to the right. So way too nervous and just overthinking my position. Got lucky there in the end. They lined up nicely, and GG. That's I had to pause. I had to split the timer there, and it was a slow. I was late on the timer. I retimed it. It's a 18:05 .35. So I was about 0.8 off of timing it, and that's the run. That is my audio commentary of how that run went. The new Minish Cap Glitchless world record run is only an improvement by 7 seconds over the previous world record. It's a minute improvement for me in terms of PB. Yeah, so there are huge time losses throughout this run. I lost like 15 seconds in Deep Woods. I lost like 25 seconds into power bracelets before like just by not talking to the dog, which was incredibly dumb. The beginning of Palace could have been better, just dealing with the P-hats better and not failing the Wizrobe fight. Lost like 13 seconds, 13, 14 seconds there. And then most importantly, DHC. I lost 45 seconds by failing the second cannon room. I should have just lent in to my muscle memory and just keep on retrying the bomb strat. Even if I don't get it first try, just keep retrying it. I really don't like the clone strat anymore, and I think I'm just going to keep on going for the bomb strat. Try and get it first try. In a lot of my runs, I've been getting it first try, so I shouldn't be too worried about that. I've messed up all of the tower Darknet minips. Well, the easy two, but I got the hard one, the last one, which was confusing, but yeah, so I should be able to save a bit of time there, probably like 5-6 seconds or something like that. And then actually getting the Darknet, the Vati minip, I can save 30 seconds in Darknuts. Vati 1 was basically perfect. Like, I couldn't get a better Vati 1 than that. Vati 2, I lost about 10 seconds. I mean, it was still a really solid Vati 2, but getting the minip will save me more time. Then Vati 3 was also a train wreck. Vati 3, I lost like 20 seconds in Vati 3. Really, really shouldn't have made that mistake. But yeah. Yeah, so I think in total that it adds up to, like, if you take into account all of my time losses, the major ones that I shouldn't have made, it's about 2 minutes of time loss. Just over 2 minutes. So I should be able to get a 216 if I have another good run. I mean, it's so difficult to play for like 2 hours and 20 minutes of nearly perfect movement with no mistakes, and not forgetting anything. But yeah.